It's another ListenABLE bonus.
Bonus-ode.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to a bonus-ode.
I'm not a bonus-ode, no, a bonus-ode.
Bonus-ode. We're going to be on our phones if you're watching this because we're going to reference some photos.
Actually, I just don't want to talk to you.
Okay, well, that's okay. Dylan's going to be antisocial.
Yeah.
I'll reference some photos. But these photos are AI-generated pictures that we shared on our Instagram and that people are finding quite interesting to talk about. So, AI is obviously everywhere, and I thought there's some AI stuff that's helping us create podcasts. And
Before we get into the photos, how happy were you with this idea? Because it was pretty cool.
It was
cool.
It was cool. And it got sent everywhere, and a lot of people asking what what the platform was, etc.
Yeah.
But anyway, the first photo, which you can see on our Instagram, I said, 2 young males in their 30s, one in a wheelchair starting a podcast. And the photo that was generated, Dylan has 6 fingers, which is, not accurate to what, you actually have.
Nothing wrong, you got 6 fingers. It was just a weird little wrinkle, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. But the funny thing that I recognized was, I saw in the comments where people were like, oh, AI is recognizing limb difference.
Hey, that's
Even
good.
though it's not pertaining to Dylan specifically.
Did you also, in this photo,
Yeah.
let's do an image script. I'm in a wheelchair. I'm kind of slunched up. I've got a brown jumper on, blue jeans. You kind of look a bit like my brother. Like, we look like brothers.
Zach, yeah.
No, you look like Zach. I reckon you look like we're like brothers in the pic.
Oh, yeah.
Because I look like nothing like me.
Yeah.
But it does look a bit Zackish. And did you put, as one of the things, high cheekbones for both of us?
What?
High cheekbones.
I didn't.
We have chiseled faces in our
Yeah, I know. Definitely more flattering for the for the cheeks, I guess, is one thing. But there's a photo there. That's one of them. And then I went. Someone actually said in the comment, Mon said, "Can you please prompt it to say, disabled child," which I changed to child with disability, on his first day of school. It'd be interesting to see if it does anything other than a visible or physical disability.
Yep.
Then I posted that up, and it gave us 4 generated photos. One is eerily too realistic for me. That's AI generated.
That looks like me as a little kid. But what I will say is, I always say disability is not this 1960s old school picture of disability.
Which it
this
is.
This kid is like in the 40s.
Yeah,
he's
got
in a wheelchair for the 1940s.
Old wheelchair.
Old, like boiler room school uniform vibe, boots.
Yep.
Like a bowl cut. He's got a little tie on. I was like, that is what everyone thinks about disability. That is old school disability, not like what a kid would be now in a wheelchair.
Yeah. I remember when the emoji came out with a wheelchair and the first thing you said was, oh, let me look at it. Remember I showed you like, what is this wheelchair?
Yeah,
it's like the 1960s first ever wheelchair
hospital
created.
chair vibe,
Hospital chair, yeah. And then it created 4 images. That's one that we're talking about, very realistic. One was a cartoon of a boy, once again in a very old wheelchair.
Yeah.
One boy with a crutch kind of in a lit hallway in what could be a school grounds. And then a young Asian fella who'd maybe be like 5 or 6 years old with no visible disability. But what I found interesting was people were telling me the disability they think that he had. So we were getting DMs of people saying, oh, it looks like he has XYZ. So it's funny that people are interpreting what AI definitely isn't. But then the interesting contrast for our AI was that someone then said, can you please do the same prompt but not mention disability? Because all of the 4 photos of the children with disability are in dark settings, quite gloomy tones.
Looks very like they're in Hogwarts Harry Potter vibes, like old school, yeah.
Yeah, tunnels, dungeons. Yeah. And so anyway, I did the same prompt without saying child with disability, and these 4 photos came up. Once again, all males. So I don't know if AI has a gender.
No, I saw something about this.
Oh.
Especially with AI-generated essays and that, it's actually very white male-dominated.
Well,
because a lot of the writings or whatever online would be that, so that's where it learns from. Okay. And I was like, that actually creates bias straight away when AI reckons it's not biased, but what it's drawing info on is biased stuff.
Which is so interesting because once again, all males, all white boys, apart from the young Asian child in the last image. But once again, I would say quite doomy and old school photos for the kids with that disability. Once again, head to our Instagram at ListenABLE_podcast to see the photos that we're referencing. But here's something I recently spoke to somebody who works in disability AI. They've created this massive platform that gets rid of disability bias in huge mainstream recruiting firms. So these big recruiting firms are now using AI to whittle down resumes online.
So I heard that 75% of resumes won't be read by a person. Most of them are AI to start.
Yep. So, and immediately they recognize, which is illegal, this company that this wonderful woman was working for or is working for and has created, is that it recognized the AI software was immediately eliminating mums coming back to work because it saw the gap in resume timeline as unemployed. So it would immediately get rid of all mums returning to work, which is illegal. And then secondly, there's, I didn't even know this, I haven't been through the system of it, but for people who are autistic, there is a process of facial recognition because, a lot of people with autism do struggle with social cues, missing sort of tone in words and also missing facial expressions to help tell a story. And so people with autism weren't getting jobs because they were doing this AI-generated facial recognition system where people who are autistic were failing this test.
Really?
But were over educated and qualified for the job.
Yeah, also, we've learned this, and this is without AI, but it is relevant. Often asks if you have a driver's license or what your driver's license number is. So someone like who is blind, low vision or whatever, can't drive because of disability, bang, AI cancels you because they think you can't get to work.
I thought about that.
Yeah, but we have that with our jobs platform, The Field. We've taken all that away because people we're getting eliminated straight away because they couldn't drive. People saw it as a red flag, you're out. Yeah. And AI was saying that you're out too. See, little things like that create the bias you wouldn't think, but it eliminates it. Hopefully this AI tech can continue to develop it. It obviously has very dangerous elements about it, but the positive is hopefully people with disability can use that to get benefit, but not without making sure it doesn't discriminate from the start.
There's certainly benefits for it in the future, including this wonderful work of someone who's eliminating that bias to get people with disability into jobs and platforms like The Field. But there's a little insight into some of the AI we're using here at the ListenABLE podcast as well.
That's about the most techie thing you've ever done, Angus.
Yeah, that's it.
You are the least techie guy I know.
I felt very confronted using big words.
Outside of me.